Dear Journal, is journal
The caption says, "Why do I have 1 million followers and $0?"
is journaling time. Dear Journal, why do I have 1 million followers and $0 in my account? I have all these followers, but my life hasn't upgraded
Hmm.
at all. I see dudes with nice whips, nice apartments, but what about me? Maybe I know what I'm doing online, just not in real life. Anyway, we'll see what I write in here tomorrow.
Yeah, I mean, I like the fact that he's introspective. And this is the first step, asking the questions. When you actually start to ask your questions and you start to look inside yourself for the answer, you might be able to come out with some pretty good answers. And I would love to know his background. Not literally, I don't mind if he doesn't want to share that, but what I just mean is, what were you doing before? What experiences have you accumulated up until this point that would actually prepare you to be able to possibly even leverage all the followers that you have? It's one thing to just go viral, but if you don't have any business sense, then that's a totally different animal. And you see it happen so many times with celebrities, entertainers, especially rap artists and singers. Why? Because it's clear they have the talent, it's clear they have the star power, and someone else recognized that. And so they were able to get on you early before you really had any leverage. And they were able to tie you up into some type of contract or some type of agreement in order to ultimately handle all the business behind who you are. And so now, no matter how much success you have somebody who's still going to be able to leech off that and still going to be able to extract a large portion of what should rightfully belong to you. And so it just shows, yes, there's a lot of people with certain things about them that's maybe able to stand out and maybe able to garner attention, which attention is money, but you're not capable. You don't really know how to actually execute once you have that attention. So it's clear you don't have the life experience or just the business or work experience, professional experience ultimately to be able to leverage that. So now that you understand that, what you'll find is there's tons of opportunities to be able to either leverage someone else's experience at a fee, a consultation fee. Maybe you just have to do the research and understand, because you better believe it's definitely people out here with less followers than you who are able to leverage the eyeballs that are gravitating towards them. So you have an even bigger opportunity, or maybe you may just need to partner with a company that does all the heavy lifting for you, and they're going to get a larger percentage off of you than they really deserve, and that they really have to. But just because you don't know at all what you're doing, you may have to do that. But also understand that you don't have unlimited time. So whatever pop, whatever boom you got going on over to where you are, to where you have a lot of motion, you want to be able to capitalize as best as you can off that while you do. Y'all, before we get into some of the next clips, if you could like the video, I greatly appreciate it. It only takes a second and it actually helps out more than you know. And also, if you could hype the video, but definitely if you could like the video, it's like I said, it's only a click. And if you're here anyway, you might as well just click that like button.
In February of this year, I quit my corporate job to
Her caption says, "I quit my job with no savings." So you want to be a content creator, huh?
In February of this year, I quit my corporate job to pursue content creation. The only reason I'm really sharing this is because I know there are other people that want to quit their job. They want to work for themselves. I begged God. I prayed real hard, like, God, please let me leave, please let me leave, please let me leave. I didn't really question whether or not it made sense or it would work out. I just really wanted to leave. Almost to the point, you know how when like you make an announcement, you say like, I'm pregnant, and they go, I know, or I'm gay. We always knew. That's kind of how it felt. Like, y'all, I gotta go. My dreams are bigger than this. I can't. This is taking me out. Mental health down the drain. Like, I have hired a psychiatrist. I gotta go. I gotta go. It hasn't all been gumdrops and rainbows. But if we're being positive, I chose to do TikTok.
She's talking about mental health went down the drain. In my opinion, it's easier to fall into a depression when you don't have nothing productive to actually keep you busy and keep you doing something. It's easier to it's easy to find your way into depression when you have a lot of idle time on your hands. She gonna find that out. Maybe she won't. Maybe this is what she always dreamed of, to not have no responsibilities and not have nowhere to be. But you're not gonna be able to keep paying that psychiatrist either, because you don't have any money coming in. It's always gonna be something.
But if we're being positive, I chose to do TikTok. I completely remove all my followers from Instagram and start over. Chose to identify how to get monetized on Facebook, to put more focus into my Amazon influencer program where you get paid for reviews.
She got a lot going on.
Managed to acquire almost, I wanted it by the end of the year, but hey, almost 50,000 followers on TikTok, which is super cool. In 6 months to be able to acquire that, it happened. Anyway, also managed to start a business, a coaching business. I actually fell into helping people with their content, which is cool. Which is cool because I've been a live streamer since 2020. It's actually what paid to get my teeth done. I've pulled thousands from live streaming, that big number, thousands. So I know it's possible. Thanks for listening. But yeah, I quit my job to pursue content creation, and here we are. So yeah, bye. In February.
You said since 2020, you pulled thousands from live streaming, but the caption said, I quit my job with no savings. So that, and you said this was from 2020. You've been making extra money off content creation, but when you quit your job, you had no savings. So what that showed is that you had opportunities probably to save, but instead, when you were making a little bit extra on the side with content creation, thousands, like she said, big thousands, you didn't put anything away for a rainy day, and you didn't store some of your acorns like a squirrel. And so you still ended up quitting your job at zero. And now it's all hinging on content creation. And she brought up multiple platforms. It sounds like TikTok is really her go-to platform, and she's just trying to diversify and build up on other platforms. In my opinion, you should just stick to one, and you should try to max out whichever one you have a natural affinity for the most. That's my opinion. But what can I tell her? It's not like I'm the expert. She's probably seen more success than me, especially across multiple platforms. But here's what I will say, where I know I'm more fit than her. You need to be saving. You need to be a good steward of your money and of your finances. That's what I'll say. And stop thinking that the well is just going to keep on producing water in every season, because it's not.
I quit my job 3 weeks ago, and ever since I haven't made a penny. And there's no evidence that this will ever make me a penny. But that actually excites me more than it makes me nervous. I'm actually really enjoying this. And
What?
I know that with absolute certainty that whatever happens, whatever comes from this, I am significantly happier than I was at that job. This well-paid, safe job that I felt obliged to stay at until I turned 65, because that's just what life is. Nope.
What in the hell is he talking about? He quit his job and he hasn't made a penny from being a content creator. And he talking about, I'm excited. Excited about what? What you excited about? You're not producing. Listen, take these people's story on face value if you want to. What I learned, man, and what I always just understand is if I don't know, I don't know. And so this could happen at your job. It could be people talking about I'm not happy and they don't treat us right and they trying to rile you up. and trying to get everybody to mass quit. Then you find out that the person who was the main one rallying the troops, they got a trust fund and they got a house that their parents gave them, and they done bought them a car when they were 15, a brand new car, and you find out that they got a rich family or something. I wouldn't be surprised if that's in his case, because what are you talking about? If you was really out here surviving and struggling, then you wouldn't have this sentiment. It would be more urgency. You wouldn't be talking about I'm excited to be not producing no results. And you can fail forward. Failure can be a great indication, but the point of failure is to just keep refining and knowing what went wrong so you can get closer to what will go right. And so if that's why you're excited, I guess, but again, why did you make the impulsive decision or the emotional decision, whatever it is, the reactive decision, I think, to leave your job for something that wasn't able to at least make up a percentage of the income? You said you haven't made a penny. So you're not making anything from this, but you've decided to double down in this. That just wasn't smart and that wasn't practical. And you're a man, you have to make more logical decisions than that before you just up and leave. But again, you never know. People be trust fund babies, having all type of stuff. So don't ever just take things on face value and make it seem like they're just so courageous and they're just so ambitious and excited. He might have a whole another situation to where if you actually got more details, you would say, oh, your granddad died and left you 750K. Oh, okay. Now I get it.
So I've been working for Caribou Coffee going on like what, 3 months now, 3 months.
The caption says, "Quit my job," and I believe she's trying to become TikTok famous.
On like what, 3 months now, 3 months, and I hate it here. I'm gonna tell you guys why. They pay me 14 an hour. I'm 28, 2 kids. Y'all pay me $14. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna just settle for that because it's hard finding a job in Minnesota. They're never hiring, so I'm just gonna take what I could get. And I'm in college, so I'm like, it is what it is,
Mm-hmm.
But every time I step a foot up in this building, they're always complaining about me. Like, it's like I'm not good enough. Like, I'm not doing this right, I'm not doing that right. And I worked for Caribou Coffee before, and I ain't never felt like this. I have never felt like this. And they just make me feel like I'm nothing. And then not only are they paying me 14 an hour, they just cut my hours. Like, I went from working basically Monday through Friday to working, no, Monday through Sunday to working twice a week. When I first started working here, something was stiffing me off my tips. So it was just like, I hate Caribou Coffee. Never again. I deserve better. I'm glad that I'm in college, dental assistance. I'm about to just
Okay.
go up from now. I'm done. I'm done settling. So I'm probably just gonna walk off. I'm tired of this. I'm tired. They just complain to me in my face. Oh, you're not learning the drinks right. Still, oh, you've been here for 3 months. I am learning the drinks.
Hold on, ma'am. See, I'm an optimistic guy, and I got something off on the side here I want to show y'all too, that I think is contributing to her attitude as far as just up and quitting. But, ma'am, see, I'm an optimistic guy, and I feel like everything that's happening to me in my life, once enough time has gone by, I will find out that it was actually happening for me and in my best interest for me to build character and just to become better. And so, how I would be looking at this situation if I was her, I would be looking at this as an opportunity. You're already in school. You can just keep working part time the 2 days. Or I would say it's harder to find part time jobs than full time jobs. And I think that if most people understand that they have to work a little bit more than what is averagely acceptable. So this actually opens up and makes you more flexible to be able to actually go find another part time job and then also have this income coming in as well. Because I don't know if she understands this, but newsflash, ma'am, you said you got 2 kids, and we're not in the best economy right now. So honestly, that'll probably open you up to be able to work as much as you actually needed to be working to begin with, because you were working like a single person who can barely survive and take care of themselves. It's single childless people out here who can barely survive off 40 hours a week, especially on a dead end job, only making $14 an hour. So I would argue you really needed an opportunity to open up your schedule to be able to have two things, a full time and at least a part-time job. But see, here's the thing. Why I think she felt so comfortable being able to just up and leave her job. See, let me see if I can just click this on. Let's see. Hold on. Ultimately, what I see over here on the side, because I've been paying more attention to the sides now, to be able to see other things from these content creators. And what I found is she put this right here. And you put it online, so I'm gonna show it. It says, when you found your soulmate after years of being mistreated. So I'm guessing this dude has become the stepdaddy or whatever,
So I've been working for.
right? He's become stepfather. I'm assuming he's probably not your kid's father. You said you had two of them. So what I'm ultimately saying is that now she got a man, and see, all of a sudden, sometimes the ladies will get a man, and now all of a sudden they feel like they can just quit their job and just then put all the finances on the new man now. And because they know that, well, shoot, we can still survive off his income, even though we kind of need yours too, so that we could really get ahead and so that we could really save. And so I wouldn't be surprised if now she feels comfortable doing that, because now she got a dude that done stepped up in her life and is probably would allow that. So again, you got to look more between the lines.
I quit my job today. I didn't intend to do that. I don't have another job.
Hold on. Well, first off, the caption said, I quit my job without a backup plan. Then she said something. See, you got to listen. People just saying stuff, they don't even know what they're saying. She said, I quit my job today, but I didn't intend to do that. Ma'am, that is factually and literally just not true. If you quit, then you intended to quit. You made a choice. So you intended to do that. It sounds like you effed up and you got impulsive and emotional in the moment for whatever the reason, and you just couldn't endure whatever you were dealing with at the time. So you decided to make this emotional decision that's going to have long-term implications.
I quit my job today. I didn't intend to do that. I don't have another job lined up. And I'm not getting on TikTok to hope for my viral moment so that I can make this my job instead, though that would be really nice. I don't expect that. Instead, I just kind of want to talk about how it really sucks to understand fundamentally that I have to participate in capitalism in order to make money and live in this world. But God, I don't want to do it anymore. Like, what job is there where it's okay for me to be a human being who has bad days? Because every job I've
You don't want to participate in capitalism. So what's the inverse? What do you want to participate in? What would you prefer it to be?
where it's okay for me to be a human being who has bad days. Because every job I've ever had gets real mad when you need a day off but don't have a doctor's note, and they fail to have any sympathy for the fact that they're the ones that are paying you and you have no money to go to the doctor for that doctor's note. Make sense?
Was it an emergency?
So I don't know what I'm gonna do. I've been applying to jobs for weeks because I already wanted to leave. I didn't expect to leave like this. I hope to have a job before then. But I can't think of a single job that I want because I don't want to work. And I know that there's going to be a bunch of fucking old people and Republicans that are going to come yell at me and say, these people these days, they don't want to work, blah, blah, blah. No, I fucking don't. And you're brainwashed if you do.
Oh.
I don't want to work. I want to do the shit I enjoy. And I think everyone does. And you're lying to yourself if you don't. And that's not to say that shit doesn't.
But you still want money, right? To be able to do the things you enjoy. Ma'am, you just want to be a child out here. You don't want to work. It's funny, right? See, the beautiful thing about being a woman is that, honestly, you don't necessarily have to work if you don't want to. You think it's not men that don't want to work, but just about every man understands that they won't have to work, whether you want to or not. It's going to be beat into you. But honestly, as a woman, you don't necessarily have to work the way that our societal structure is set up. If you don't want to, you're still going to have to make some concessions on the other side. But I would bet you she also doesn't want to have to live with a man either. See, she wants everything. She doesn't want to have to work. She doesn't want to have to deal with a man, see a man, be around a man. Then at the same time, she wants to be able to live the life that she sees everyone else on social media living, but not work for it. She wants to play hard without working hard. She wants to be comfortable, ultimately. And she also wants somebody to come and work to resolve any of her issues that may come up. If her toilet stops working, she gonna want that somebody to come work and fix that. If her car can't start so that it can get her to her gourmet coffee shop that she likes, she gonna want somebody to come work and come repair that. Just like she just said, it, if she has a issue internally to where she needs to go to the doctors, she's gonna want them to work and diagnose that. So it's like, ma'am, it's just about contributing. If nobody wants to contribute, then do you want to just be out here in the world fending for yourself, solving all your own problems? How about you help some people and you solve some of their problems too, so that this thing can keep working the way that it's designed to work?
Enjoy. And I think everyone does. And you're lying to yourself if you don't. And that's not to say that shit doesn't need to get done, but I don't want to be on my deathbed, look back and be like, wow, I didn't have any happy moments because all of it was spent worried about whether or not I was a good fucking employee. That's all.
So let me get this straight.
Well, ma'am, here's the thing. I guarantee you there's things that you like to do that can be tied to your work. I mean, she seems more like a tattoo artist type or something. She like a creative or whatever. Ma'am, you're going to have to apply yourself and you're going to have to do something. You're going to have to do something. What, you don't want to do nothing with your time? Because let's be honest, you're on TikTok. All you're going to do is be doom scrolling all day. I get it. It can be emotionally taxing sometimes to be dreading doing something and then going to do it. But that's why you need to have better perspective. And you just need to understand that there's still tons of ways within the day that you can make this a great day, and that you can make this a different day than any other day that you've ever experienced before. But that's going to be on you. You're going to have to do the work to be able to make sure that you can actually keep that perspective and ultimately keep that worldly outlook. But it's a beautiful thing to be able to actually contribute and, do something for society. And maybe she looks like she could also do like nonprofit work or something like that. Something tied to some of the things that you probably advocate for already and want to come on here and do. They got jobs for that. You could work in nonprofits and advocating for whatever it is that you want to advocate for, whether I agree with them or not. But it's just lazy to not even try to discover that. You don't think there's something out here that will be contributing to society that you would actually enjoy doing? People be lazy all the way across the board. Lazy physically, and even just lazy thinkers don't even want to think and try to understand and uncover what they could actually do that they wouldn't mind doing.
Quick little story time.
It
I'm now
says,
getting the courage
the caption says, story time about how I lost my job because of TikTok and coworkers.
to actually talk about this situation. So back in September of 2025, I ended up losing my job. So I worked at my job for 7 years. I was fully vested. So let's jump right into it. So I had just came off a vacation and I went back to work. And the first day back, my manager calls me into the office. She tells me that HR needs to see you. They want you to leave, they want you to clock out, and they want you to come back the next day to have a meeting with them. So I'm like super confused because like I said, I'm now coming back from vacation, so I had no idea like what was going on. So I asked my manager, like,
do y'all think she's going to tell us Because I'm assuming it was some content that she might have made. Do you think she's going to tell us what the content was? Or what she said in it? I'm curious. I want to know.
You know what's going on. She told me that I was basically under an investigation. So I was like, an investigation for what? And she said she couldn't tell me. So I come back to work on the Thursday, like I'm in my full uniform and everything, because I'm thinking, okay, I'm just going to meet with HR, then I'm going to go back to the floor to work. So I go meet with HR and they're asking me about my TikTok. So I'm like, my TikTok? HR then proceeds to tell me that somebody reported my TikTok and said that I was posting content while I was at work. I said I had a couple of videos on my page where I was posting a lot at work. They also mentioned that my badge was present in the video. And come to find out, somebody...
What type of job do you got? Okay, so that's what it was. Really? You're making content at work in the office with your badge showing? Probably with the logo of the organization showing, so anybody could just pinpoint what that organization is and then flag you as the person responsible. And then she on vacation, not a worry in the world. Meanwhile, they got this internal investigation going on her.
My unit where I was working reported my TikTok.
Is she a nurse?
To HR.
Was she a nurse? Hold on, I got to see this real quick. Because now that's wild. If you work in a hospital and you're a nurse and you're making TikToks at work, because she is in the medical field. See, now this doesn't make any sense. Yeah, she's in the medical field, allegedly. She's in the healthcare field. Ma'am, you didn't know that you can't be working in the healthcare field and be recording TikToks at work? If you make a mistake and your camera picks up on a computer where somebody's got somebody's medical records or something up, you don't see the problems with that? You didn't do your HIPAA training? Oh my goodness. And I don't even know how that's going to flag on her certification. So that's why they were doing an investigation, because I was wondering, I was like, this is a little much for just a corporation to be doing. I thought she might have said something wild online. But really?
And when I tell you I was so devastated when I lost my job, like from September to January, I was like full on depressed. Like I really felt like I didn't have anywhere to turn. And I was just in a really dark place. And although I was in a dark...
Man, way to sabotage your life. You just messed up your money for real. This could really have implications, probably on your certification, all type of stuff. You had a good career, you invested your time, and you had to make TikToks while in the hospital, allegedly. Really? It's that deep. And matter of fact, why didn't I show y'all? I should have just showed y'all. I looked at it. That's how I confirmed that she's in the medical field. She still ain't even took some of this stuff down. Look at this. Look at this. This is what let me know that she's in the medical field. Look. And it's pinned at the top of her profile. Look at this. She is an idiot. And look, the screen is up right there. The screen is showing. And she still hasn't taken this down. She's got her screen showing. What a dummy. She still ain't learned. She still ain't learned. She got the computer screen showing. All right, let's finish the story.
Place. at that moment, I really learned a lot from that situation. I learned and I grew a lot from that situation. And I also realized how strong of a person I was too around that time. And I just prayed a lot. I just kept praying, like asking God for understanding because I really didn't understand the situation at the time. And I just was like, why me? Why me out of all people? Would somebody do something like that to me, you know? And I would just talk to God every day. And when I tell
They were actually probably doing their duty. That's probably something that they really need to report before you freaking have somebody's medical records exposed.
you, from September to February, I always had money. Like, I had money for my rent. I had money to go places. Like, I always had money. And God really showed up, y'all. He really showed up and showed out. Because when I tell you, I wasn't hungry, I had everything that I needed. Thank God. But a lot of times things happen to you and you just don't understand it. But you have to really take that time to really pray and really ask God, like, what was that about? Like, what are you trying to tell me? What are you trying to show me? And believe me, He's going to show you. He's going to tell you everything that you need to know. And I honestly just wanted to share that because I feel like people don't realize.
You can literally be educated, have a good profession, and technically on paper have your life figured out, and still be a goofball. Ma'am, see, just out here, even when you're making some good decisions and you start getting your life on the right track, will still do the most obvious thing to sabotage your own life. See, they should be out here just making all type of bad things. See, if you had somebody else that you could defer to, possibly a relationship, a man would have been like, "You're doing TikTok at work? Doesn't that violate HIPAA violations?" Or he would have at least seen your profile and been like, or and let you know, don't be mixing work with your social media. That's just a no-no. Don't do that. And then he would have saw that thing in the hospital and have been like, take that down yesterday. You're playing a very dangerous game, and it's going to affect both of us. He probably would have been like, and you still need to have your half of the rent since we're in the modern century. So we're paying half and half, 50-50. You still need to have your half of the rent. So just like sometimes some of the ladies will lead the men if they lose their job. He'd be like, I'm not staying with you if you lose your job. But you're on a track to lose your job. I don't know if you know this. I know you're a goofball. It comes out in other ways. But you can't be a goofball over here. You need to be being careful. If you're doing this on social media, imagine the type of risk you might be taking at the hospital that could have you liable. Man, I done seen at some of these hospitals, the patients be pressing the button, be needing a nurse to come, and the nurse just be on the phone on TikTok. Don't give a F. And like, whatever. They don't even know if that dude could be gargling on his own blood or something. And then if he passes away, you're going to be able to get sued and all type of stuff. You might even go to prison. Some people just look at the jobs and they're just seeing the money and the lifestyle is going to give them. They don't even really understand the implications and the responsibility that they ultimately have and how they could be liable civilly and criminally if they don't operate in the way that they were trained. Clearly, and usually you got to do HIPAA training annually. But what usually happens with these trainings? Man, people just try to just hurry up and skip through the training and get through it quick. Nowadays, you got AI where you could just take a picture of the questions that the trainer is asking and just have the AI give you the answers and you can hurry up and get through your training. And so you don't get that reminder, that reinforcement, and then you end up out here forgetting just how important these things are. And some people, they never been told how it could have implications on their lives as far as them being implicated in liability. Sometimes they don't tell you. Sometimes they skip that. They forget that when they're training you. But that's for you to understand the nature of what it is that you chose to take on and understand ultimately how you could be held accountable if you don't do things according to the proper procedure. Ma'am, you need to adhere to procedures and protocols because they're actually there to protect you from yourself. But see, she's not doing that. And she still hasn't taken it down. And so even if she gets another job, there's still a potential that they can find that pin thing that I just found, even though she's already gotten in trouble for this. There's still a chance they'll be able to find that and then see how she operates and remove it. I wouldn't even post this story time right here. It's going viral. Even if you take this story time down, it's still going to live forever on my YouTube. This is why I say you need to have taken this stuff down yesterday. But hey, people just don't learn. They don't learn until it's all over. Y'all, we'll leave it there for today. If you could like the video, I greatly appreciate it. It only takes a second, and it actually helps out more than you know. And also, if you could hype the video. Hype is a new feature that YouTube offers where it helps smaller content creators like myself. And basically, when you hype, it actually pushes us to the extent that it pushes the larger content creators. So you just press the hype button and it shows the points. And since I'm a smaller creator, a smaller channel, we actually get more points per hype. And hype was designed for smaller channels, so that's why. But if you come across a video and you don't see the hype button, then it's probably been over 7 days. And hype usually vanishes after 7 days. So it's usually best practice if you want to hype to just go ahead and hype while the iron is hot on a newer video, if that's what you want to do again. And also, if you want to become a member of the channel, join buttons on the video. And what becoming a member of the DXU family will come with is you would get badges next to your comments where it shows people that you are a member whenever you leave a comment. And you would also get early access to content and even exclusive content that is not available for everyone else on YouTube. So again, if you want to become a member, join buttons on the video. But until then, I'll see you in the next video.